It's almost Christmas Eve, and Santa's on his way. But sometimes he brings more than goodies and toys. Sometimes unwanted stowaways get inside his bag. Hi, I'm Fred Wiehe, horror author. Gather round and I'll tell you the story about the time Santa unwittingly brought a gremlin for Christmas. A gremlin came on Christmas Day. It came as a stowaway on Santa's sleigh. It had dagger-like teeth and massive pointy claws, even though it stood barely 4 feet tall. Knotted tangled hair sprouted from head to toe. Beady red eyes darted to and fro. It looked like the spawn of demon seed. It had a deep-seated hunger, a ravenous need to feed. On human flesh it wished to sink its teeth, ripping and rending a Christmas feast. To this end it hid in Santa's bag, to find a home, a family to eat on Christmas Day. Santa didn't know the little beast had tagged along, a present from hell for an unsuspecting child, dad, and mom. He climbed from the sleigh, presents slung over his back, and slid down the chimney with the demon, the gremlin stowaway, hidden in his sack. While the jolly old elf put all the gifts underneath the tree, the beastie climbed out of the sack, finally free. It crept to the shadows in a far-off corner. There it lurked, it waited, bided its time, while Santa finished with the family's Christmas order. Mr. Claus took one last look around the room. He suddenly had an unexpected chill, an impending feeling of doom. He stroked his white whiskers and eyed the shadows. But he was by nature good and saintly, an unsuspecting fellow. So with a shrug of his shoulders and a tinkling of a Christmas bell, he was back up the chimney, unknowingly leaving behind the thing from hell. The gremlin chuckled with evil glee as it watched Santa go, pleased to no end with itself as it stepped out from its hiding place, deep within the shadows. It crept to the staircase and climbed them slow and steady, its massive pointy claws and its sharp deadly teeth ever at the ready. It snuck down the gloomy hall and searched for its feast, following its nose, sniffing the scent of human blood, human flesh, the damned little beast. It stopped cold at the doorway of an unsuspecting boy. The soft glow of a nightlight exposed the floor cluttered with toys. It looked as though a terrible tornado had touched down and struck. In this case, the tornado was the little boy named Chuck. Chuck lay beneath the covers all snugly and warm. He slept the sleep of youthfulness, deep and unsuspecting, and he dreamt the dreams of innocence, unaware of danger impending, not at all forewarned. The gremlin licked his lips with delight at the prospect of eating the boy. It crept into the room with stealth, with grace, until it accidentally stepped on a toy. The toy made a loud squeak, a terrible noise that echoed through the room and awakened the sleeping boy. Chuck scanned his tiny bedroom after jerking awake, then let out a horrified squeal as if he'd just seen a snake. But it wasn't a snake, a spider, or even a slimy snail. It was much more terrible than that. What he saw was the gremlin, the thing from hell. The gremlin let out a piercing shriek and bared razor-sharp teeth. It flew at the boy, eager to start the feast. Its claws swiped through the air, aiming at Chuck's face, but luckily missed, and that's what started the race. Chuck bounded out of bed and scrambled underneath. From there, he shot across the room and out the door with the quickest of feet. He ran down the hallway with the gremlin right behind, searching for help. It was his mom and dad he had to find. But the gremlin tripped him up just as he passed the top of the stairs. Together they tumbled down them, an unsightly pair. They hit the bottom hard with a mighty thump. The boy lay very still and quiet in a semi-conscious lump. But the gremlin rolled free and bounded to its hairy feet. It came at the dazed and woozy boy, ready to eat. It licked its lips with evil glee, and it drooled with anticipation. Was there no one to help this boy? Was there no one to offer salvation? The gremlin raised its pointed claws, ready to rip and rend. But before the wicked thing could strike, a shovel smacked it upside the head. The sound of metal on bone echoed throughout the house. It cracked its skull wide open, bone fragments, tissue, and blood spraying all about. It swayed unsteady on big hairy feet. Then it crashed to the floor in a big hairy heap. Its beady red eyes rolled back inside its head. There was no doubt about it, very much. It was dead. Santa dropped his shovel and took the boy gently in his arms. He hugged Chuck with all his might, glad to have kept him from harm. Chuck's arms went around Santa's neck and hugged the jolly old elf right back. He whispered in Santa's ear, "Thank you for saving me, Santa. Thank you for coming back." Santa carried Chuck to a chair and sat down with the boy on his lap. Santa said, "I'm sorry, Chuck. I made a mistake, and I feel like a giant sack. I brought that gremlin to your home. It was hiding in my sack." Chuck hugged the old elf and whispered in his ear, "It's okay, Santa. I love you still. Never ever fear." Santa said, "Thank you, Chuck. I never ever will." And then the old elf smiled real big and said, "I love you as well." Santa packed the dead gremlin up and took it with him when he went. And in its place he left for Chuck a very special present. Inside the gift a puppy waited to be found. When Chuck opened it and saw the dog, he could hardly make a sound. The dog bounded out immediately and flew into Chuck's waiting arms. They fell together to the floor, but neither of them was harmed. The puppy licked Chuck's face. Chuck giggled happily. This was now the puppy's home, that was for sure. No such thing as probably. And they heard Santa call out from where they sat on the floor. Santa said, "Merry Christmas, Chuck. Merry Christmas to all." And many, many more. If you liked this story, A Gremlin for Christmas, visit my website, fredwiehe.com. That's Wiehe spelled W-I-E-H-E, fredwiehe.com. You can read other stories there, or synopsis for all my novels, such as Strange Days, Starkville, The Burning, and Night Songs. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, and be forewarned, be looking out for that gremlin that Santa brings by mistake.